Republicans in the Senate are now working on the next phase of relief, which will likely include money sent directly to Americans. The Trump administration would like it in 2 checks at a minimum, one in April, one in May. We don't know where the Senate will come down, but the Trump White House is asking for the following: $50 billion for the airline industry, $150 billion for other impacted industries, and again, 2 rounds of direct payments to Americans of $250 billion each. Then there would be a small business interruption loan program as well. Joining me now with the latest from Capitol Hill, my NBC News colleague, Leanne Caldwell. And Leanne, we saw that stuff got done today. What's the timeline on this bill? We know the White House would like to see the first checks cut to Americans April 6th. Essentially, if you think about late fees when it comes to rent, that can be about the 10th of the month for some people, so that would be just in time. What's the likelihood that the Senate would act that fast?
Well, Senate Republicans have been meeting over the past couple of days. They've been divided into task force tackling different sections of this bill, and they have a deadline of tomorrow morning to get their proposals to Mitch McConnell. It's been relatively easy, I'm told, because it really tracks what the White House wants, what was laid out in the Treasury proposal, and so they're just kind of putting pen to paper and making it into legislative law type of language. But then after that, it's unclear because, of course, they're going to have to get sign off from the White House, but they're also going to have to get sign off from the Democrats, too. Majority Leader McConnell wanted to take the reins in this round of negotiations because he stood on the sidelines in the last, but he's still going to need Democrats to pass it. He needs 60 votes in the Senate, and he also needs the House of Representatives led by Democrats to get this through. So while things are moving really quickly at this stage, it's only Republicans crafting this legislation with some input from Democrats. But until they get the sign off from all the parties, who knows, Chuck? They want to move really quickly, but how quick? This week, next week, week after, unclear.
What's going on, people? What's going on? It's your main man, everything. By John coming at you. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy time out here. You see the muscles coming in a little bit, but anyway. So you see, Americans might get stipulation of 1,000, 1,200, and actually in the coming weeks. It makes you think about a couple of things, and I really don't want to make the video too long, but it's almost like I'm gonna just say what I can in the shortest amount of time. First of all, I see a lot of people almost acting comfortable with that. Like, yeah, I'm good with $1,000, extra $1,000. I think an internal question is, are you really good with $1,000? Like, is $1,000, can that honestly get you by your exact situation? To pay bills, etc., etc. I think that's the real question at hand right now. Because if you're only making like $2,000 a month, then you're living here in New York City, for example, where the average rent is like $2,100 a month overall. What is that really gonna do for you? So it's kind of like what Andrew Yang was talking about in terms of this automation revolution type of thing, where it's like the government should supply everybody with just enough money to survive, or I'll say get by, and then the rest is up to you. It's almost like when you propose the $1,000, the stipulation right now, it's almost like, well, you could have did this years ago. This could have prevented so many different things. You could look at it as a bribe right now, so people in the street won't go bat crazy, right? Bat shit crazy, no pun intended. Or you could look at it like, well, we could have, this extra $1,000, $2,000 could have did so much for us. I mean, what could an extra $1,000 or $2,000 do for you right now? I mean, if you were getting it every month, though. It makes you think. So you have to question these things when they come down from the government, all these things. Like, you have to question these certain policies, man. Because the government has this money. It's almost like, why is this not happening? You see they suspend the mortgage payments and the rent payments, but it has to take a global epidemic for this to happen? I mean, come on, It's a joke to me. It's almost like they play the puppet game right in front of your eyes, and you guys just go along with it, and they love it. They love that. You know, they feel like they could do. They could put whatever in front of you. They could put a fish in front of you and tell you it's a cat, and waggle it around and dangle it in front of your face, and you'll believe it. You know, so $1,000 for me, it should be $5,000 every week. I mean, every week wouldn't be bad, but I say at least every month. At least every month. You know, that would be very feasible. You know, so if it happens, it happens. I mean, you know, it came from the Republican side. Democrats got to sign off on it and everything like that. We'll see. You know, I don't know anymore with anything that's going on. I take everything with a huge grain of salt now, especially nowadays. So, we'll see. We'll see. So I want to ask y'all, you know, what, you know, how much money would be good for you to survive? Yeah, for you to get by to the next month on a monthly basis, you know. Do you think that maybe it should be like that from now on? Maybe everybody should get, you know, an extra stimulus package check for every month, you know, almost like unemployment, but you're employed. Employed with unemployment. You know. So continue, let me know, like, share, subscribe, support channel. I'll see y'all in the next one.